Good afternoon, students. In the previous class, we have seen how coordinate-covalent bond is formed, and even we have seen the definition. After that, what are the examples present with coordinate-covalent bond we have seen. Coordinate-covalent bond is also called as dative bond or semi-polar bond. It has both the characteristics of ionic bond as well as covalent bond. That's why it got the name semi-polar bond. Okay. Coordinate-covalent bond is formed from is represented by arrow mark from donor to acceptor. The substance which is acting like donor is called Lewis base, and the substance which is acting like acceptor is called Lewis acid. So this coordinate covalent bond is the bond between Lewis base and Lewis acid. This is a type of covalent bond which is formed between two atoms, in which bond pair of electrons will be entirely shared by one atom only, will be contributed by one atom only. Another atom simply it will participate with empty orbital. The type of bonds are called coordinate covalent bonds. When we see arrow mark, that arrow mark represents coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. Okay, you will find more importance of these coordinate covalent bonds in next year 12th class also. Exclusively we have one name of the chapter, that is coordination compounds. Okay, that is about coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. Coming to this today's class, we will see hydrogen bond. Okay, before going to that one, why this hydrogen bond is existed, means how this hydrogen bond was explained. Already we have seen different types of chemical bonds. What are they? Covalent bond, ionic bond, coordinate covalent bond. More than these, no chemical bonds are present. Only three types of chemical bonds are present. Those are ionic bond, covalent bond and coordinate covalent bond. Then what is this hydrogen bond? What is this hydrogen bond? Okay, to understand this one, first thing is why this hydrogen bond was explained. Suppose example, why we have to go through hybridization? Because there are some drawbacks in valence bond theory. To explain the drawbacks in valence bond theory, we have to see that next theory, that is hybridization or VSEPR theory. Why we have to go through molecular orbital theory? Because there are some drawbacks in hybridization and VSEPR theory. That's why we are going through molecular orbital theory. Like that here also, for the explaining of this hydrogen bond, first, why did they explain this one? Because of one small problem. That one we will see now. See all of you carefully. Let us consider two molecules. Those two molecules are water and hydrogen sulfide. What are the two molecules? Those two molecules are water and hydrogen sulfide. Formula of water is H2O. Formula of hydrogen sulfide is H2S, which contains rotten smell. This H2S contains rotten smell. It is a gas. Okay. Now coming to this, how this hydrogen bond explanation was came into existence. Okay. Now let us consider water and hydrogen sulfide. H value is equal to 4 here. Even for H2S also H value is equal to 4. Hybridization sp3. This is also hybridization sp3. H value 4, 2 hydrogens are present. That means 2 lone pairs are present. 4 minus 2, 2 lone pairs. This is under model Ab2E2. Okay, same way here 4 are there. Sorry, 4 hybridized orbitals are there. H is equal to 4. 4 minus 2. This model is also coming under Ab2E2. Ab2E2 model will get the shape inverted V shape or bent shape with 2 lone pairs present on central atom. This is the shape of H2O. Same like that, coming to H2S. Inverted V shape or bent shape with 2 lone pairs present on sulfur. Observe the two molecules H2O and H2S. H2O, water, H2S is hydrogen sulfide. They have same hybridization. They will come under same model, AB2E2. Shapes are also same. Shapes are also same. But the difference is, at room temperature, water is a liquid. At room temperature, water is a liquid. H2S is a gas. At room temperature, water is a liquid. H2S is a gas. Why this problem came here? Even though they have same shape, okay, same shape, next, same model, they are coming under same model only, AB2E2. Both are coming under AB2E2 only. Shape also same. Central atoms only different. Okay, on that central atoms, number of lone pairs are same. Even bonds, two hydrogen, these covalent bonds are present, same as it is. Everything is same, but central atoms are different. Okay, because of that, one small difference we found between H2 and H2S. That is, H2O is liquid at room temperature. Normally at room temperature, water is exists in the form of liquid state. If you want to convert that water to gas state, we want to heat that one. At 100 degrees C it will be. And at high temperature it will be converted to gas state. At low temperature it will be converted to solid state. But the thing is, at room temperature, what is the state? That one I am asking. At room temperature, water state is liquid. H2S, that is gas. Okay. Then scientists initially, they got this doubt and they started to think. What is the reason? Water is liquid at room temperature. H2S is gas at room temperature. They have same shape. They are coming under same model. Okay. Then how we have to explain to people? If they ask, if any person is going to ask why water is liquid at room temperature and H2S is gas at room temperature. Okay. If anyone asks, scientists what they have to think to explain. Okay, then they have come across this problem with one explanation, that is called hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond is not a chemical bond like covalent bond and ionic bond. Once again I am stressing here, please remember all of you, hydrogen bond is not a chemical bond like covalent bond or ionic bond. It is a intermolecular force. What is that? It is a intermolecular force. Between one molecule and another molecule, we have this type of force. That one, scientists kept the name as hydrogen bond. That only. It is not a chemical bond. Ionic bond is formed by transfer of electrons from one atom to another atom. Covalent bond is formed by sharing of electrons between two atoms. Coordinate covalent bond is formed by sharing of two electrons, but the two electrons are contributed by one atom only. All these are chemical bonds. But under the heading hydrogen bond, what we are going to study, because of that hydrogen bond, that hydrogen bond is not an actual chemical bond. It is a intermolecular force. Intermolecular force means the force present between the molecules. Already molecules are existed with covalent bonds. Okay. After the existence of those molecules, see, between O and H, covalent bond is there. Between O and H also covalent bond is there. Don't think that this is hydrogen bond. This is normal covalent bond. Between one water molecule and another water molecule, we have that type of force. That is intermolecular force, which is called hydrogen bond. Okay. How that hydrogen bond is going to be formed, I am going to explain that one. Once again, I am going to stress that one, because why I am stressing these many times? Even after completion of so many times explanation also, students will feel that hydrogen bond is also coming under chemical bond only. Chemical bonds means like covalent bond and ionic bond. But hydrogen bond is not at all chemical bond. That is covalent bond or ionic bond or even coordinate covalent bond. It is a type of intermolecular force. It is a type of intermolecular force. Now, how that intermolecular force is going to be existed, that one I am going to explain. Before that, why we have to go through hydrogen bond explanation, that one I told this one. Okay, coming to water and H2S, scientists practically they are seeing Water is the liquid at room temperature. H2S is gas at room temperature. To convert that H2S to liquid, they want high forces, in which those forces are already present in water. That's why it is existed as liquid state. What is the thing they are keeping? That means what is the property? That property is keeping the difference of states in water and H2S. That property is called hydrogen bond. That property is called hydrogen bond. Is it okay, ma? That hydrogen bond is not a chemical bond, it is simply an intermolecular force. Between one molecule and another molecule, that force will be existed. Okay, now let us see how hydrogen bond will be explained. Okay, ma? See all of you carefully. Before going to that explanation, one point I am going to write on board. Out of total number of elements, okay, the elements with high electronegativity values, the elements with high electronegativity values are number 1 fluorine, 2 oxygen, 3 nitrogen, 4 chlorine. Fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine. For this electronegativity, we have to know that electronegativity I explained in polar covalent bond. That is the capability of the atom to pull the bond pair of electrons. That is the capability of the atom to pull the bond pair of electrons towards itself. That is called electronegativity. If the element is high electronegative, it will pull the electrons very highly towards itself. So, out of total number of elements, till now, nowadays we have 118 elements. Out of 118 elements, the highest electronegative value will be contained by fluorine. After fluorine, oxygen. Next nitrogen, next chlorine. Okay, why I am mentioning this? These electronegative elements, you will understand now. Okay, now I am going to explain H2 and H2S difference. No? Before that, please mention this in your notes. Out of total number of elements, the elements with high electronegativity values are number 1 fluorine, next oxygen, third one nitrogen, fourth one chlorine. Okay, let us see. Consider water here, H2O. Okay, now between oxygen and hydrogen, which is high electronegative? Now only we have seen oxygen is second most electronegative element. Oxygen is second most electronegative element. Then between oxygen and hydrogen, which is high electronegative oxygen, it will pull the electrons towards itself. Because of that, it is getting partial negative charge, and hydrogen is getting partial positive charge. Hydrogen is getting partial positive charge. In the same way, one more bond is there between O and H. Here also, oxygen is more electronegative when compared to this hydrogen. Because of that, again oxygen is developed by partial negative charge. Hydrogen is developed by partial positive charge. These two are called polar covalent bonds. Polar means charges will be there. These two are called polar covalent bonds. We have seen two types of covalent bonds depending on the charges. One is polar covalent bond and the one is non-polar covalent bond. Okay, in this chemical bond itself I explained. Please once, if you have any doubt, in your running notes you might have written. Please see to that one, all of you. Okay, this is one water molecule. This water molecule contains high electronegative atom oxygen, less electronegative atom hydrogen. Because of that, oxygen is developed by delta negative charge, that means partial negative charge. Hydrogen is developed by partial positive charge. Now I am considering this is one water molecule only. Same like that, another water molecule will be present. In one drop of water, millions of water molecules will be present now. In small water drop alone, so many millions of water molecules will be present. So definitely one more molecule I am considering here. Same in previous molecule how it is existed, like that, delta negative, delta positive, delta positive. This is completely one molecule and this is completely another molecule. Okay, now these molecules present with this distance. Suppose this is one water molecule and this is one water molecule. They are present little bit far away. Okay, when they are present little bit far away, they have to be present in gaseous state. Why oxygen is in gaseous state? Because between oxygen molecule and another oxygen molecule, distance is very high. Distance is very high, intermolecular force is very low. Because of that, it is existed in gaseous state. Oxygen, N2, okay, like that. Examples. Now coming to this water molecule, between one water molecule and another water molecule, okay, if gap is large, then it should be gaseous state. It should be present in gaseous state. But what is happening here actually? Delta positive hydrogen contains positive charge only. Even though it is partial positive charge, it is positive charge only. So delta positive charge on hydrogen and delta negative charge of oxygen in another molecule. This is another molecule, this is another molecule. Okay, delta plus hydrogen of first molecule and delta negative of oxygen of second molecule will be attracted with a force. There is attraction between this hydrogen and this oxygen. This is completely one molecule, no? This is completely another molecule. Between these two molecules, we have intermolecular force. Between these two molecules, we have intermolecular force. That intermolecular force is called hydrogen bond. That intermolecular force is called hydrogen bond. As this hydrogen bond is present, okay, normally water molecules must be this much distant. Let us think that one. Because of this hydrogen bond, they will be coming like this. Because attraction is strong now. Because of this attraction, they will be nearer. When they are nearer, okay, the particles will be coming closer. Instead of gaseous state, they are present in liquid state. Those intermolecular forces are not too strong to keep them in solid. When we decrease the temperature, then only it will be converted to ice. You have to remember, please understand, at room temperature, okay, the intermolecular forces present in this water molecule are enough to keep that water in liquid state. Not very high like in solid, not very low like in gas. They are present like this. Between one water molecule and another water molecule, we have this type of force, intermolecular force. Okay, that intermolecular force is called hydrogen bond. Is it okay? Because of this hydrogen bond, okay, the molecules are not very far away from each other. Because of this electrostatic force, this is type of electrostatic force only. Okay. Are you understanding? Electrostatic force is nothing but that attraction between two opposite charges. This is delta positive charge and this is delta negative charge. This is one type of electrostatic force only, or intermolecular force. Anything, both are same. Okay, which keeps the water molecules little bit closer. When the water molecules are closer, automatically the state what we are expecting, it will not be there. Because normally we are thinking that that force is not there. That force, intermolecular hydrogen bond, sorry, that intermolecular force, hydrogen bond is not there. We will think like generally like that. Then the water molecules are a little bit far away. Then it should be in gaseous state. But why this water is liquid state, in liquid state at room temperature? Because of the presence of this hydrogen bond. Because of the presence of this hydrogen bond. Once observe the diagram, all of you. Please, all of you, everyone, you have to keep it in mind once again. This hydrogen bond is not like ionic bond or covalent bond or coordinate-covalent bond. Okay. After the formation of molecule, intermolecular forces will be existed. Those intermolecular forces are going to decide the state of the substance. Intermolecular forces are going to decide the state of the substance. Water is in liquid state because of the presence of intermolecular force. That intermolecular force is called hydrogen bond. Because of this hydrogen bond only, water is present in liquid state. Because of this hydrogen bond, the molecules are closer. When the molecules are closer, normally we are thinking that that must be in gaseous state, but it is coming to liquid state at room temperature. Okay. Then if you heat that water, these bonds are going to be broken. These bonds are going to be broken and intermolecular forces are getting weaker. Then it will be converted to gaseous state. That is happened when we heat that one. But at room temperature, okay, these, as long as this hydrogen bond is existed, they are present in liquid state only. This is the intermolecular forces in water, which is called hydrogen bond. Okay, all of you are able to understand now? Delta positive present on hydrogen in one water molecule and oxygen with the delta negative charge in another water molecule. Okay, they are attracted with a weak force, that is intermolecular force. That is called hydrogen bond. Now, continuation we will see. What about H2S? In H2S, sulfur is present, which is less electronegative than oxygen. Which is less electronegative than oxygen. Then another sulfur. This is another H2S molecule. Between this H2S and H2S molecule, hydrogen bond is not present. Between this H2S and H2S, hydrogen bond is not present. Now, which type of force is present in H2S? See, delta negative charge is present on sulfur, delta positive charge is present on hydrogen. Actually, sulfur is also electronegative element only. That is electronegative greater than hydrogen. But with respect to oxygen, it is very low. Sulfur is electronegative element only, but when compared to oxygen, electronegativity of sulfur is very low. I told top 4 electronegative elements. Those are fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine. After that only sulfur will be somewhere. Okay, so according to that, sulfur will be developed by small delta negative charge. Oppositely, hydrogen is developed by small delta positive charge. Here also delta positive charge. Same, sulfur delta negative, here delta positive, delta positive. Now, this sulfur delta negative and hydrogen delta positive are attracted by the intermolecular force only. By the intermolecular force, but that intermolecular force is not hydrogen bond. It is called dipole-dipole force. This is H2S molecule. This is another H2S molecule. Between two H2S molecules, we have intermolecular force, that is dipole-dipole force. Dipole means two charges. This is also two charge. Between one dipole and another dipole, we have the type of force that is called dipole-dipole force. Okay, but the difference is hydrogen bond is stronger than dipole-dipole force. Hydrogen bond is stronger than dipole-dipole force because hydrogen bond is formed between high electronegative element and hydrogen. high electronegative element like oxygen and hydrogen. Dipole-dipole force is formed between electronegative elements like sulfur, chlorine and hydrogen. Okay, when electronegativity is decreased, that force strength also decreases. Oxygen is high electronegative, it will attract the hydrogen strongly. Sulfur is less electronegative, it will attract the hydrogen weakly. Because of that, hydrogen bond is stronger than dipole-dipole force. Hydrogen bond is stronger than dipole-dipole force. This is the force, intermolecular force, which is present in H2S molecule. This is the kind of intermolecular force which is present in H2S molecule. In H2O, that is water, we have hydrogen bond. In H2S, we have dipole-dipole force. Okay, in these two, which intermolecular force is strong? Hydrogen bond is stronger than dipole-dipole force. Because of that strong force, one water molecule and another water molecule will be closer when compared to H2S molecules. H2S molecules intermolecular force is weaker because of that they are little bit far away, but in water they are little closer. When the attractions are strong, they will be closer. Automatically water is existed in the form of liquid state, H2S is existed in the form of gaseous state. As H2S molecules are far away and H2O molecules are closer. That is the difference. So these intermolecular forces are going to decide the state of matter. Intermolecular forces are going to decide the state of matter. Okay, clearly I will write on board. Now, different types of forces and chemical bonds we got. So, confusion must not be there. That's why I am going to write on board, that is, see here, did you understand my everyone? All of you, see here. Intermolecular forces are three types. Generally, intermolecular forces are three types. Those are hydrogen bond, dipole-dipole forces, and van der Waals forces. What are the three types of intermolecular forces? Those are hydrogen bond, dipole-dipole forces, van der Waals forces. Okay, ma'am. Now, which one is strong in this one? Hydrogen bond is stronger than dipole-dipole forces, which is stronger than van der Waals forces. Hydrogen bond is stronger than, greater than dipole-dipole forces, greater than van der Waals forces. Okay, these are all called intermolecular forces, which are weaker than chemical bonds. Chemical bonds are stronger than hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond is stronger than dipole-dipole forces. Dipole-dipole forces are stronger than van der Waals forces. But the state of any substance will be decided on these intermolecular forces only. That point also I will say. State of the matter is decided by intermolecular forces, because those molecules should not be very far away or moderately. Like that, it will be decided depending on strength of the intermolecular force. If the intermolecular force is highly strengthened, the molecules are closer, then it will be in solid or liquid, like that it will be decided. Correct or not? Intermolecular forces are going to decide that state of matter. Okay, now coming to these chemical bonds. What are the types of chemical bonds we have? Those are ionic bond, covalent bond, and coordinate covalent bond. These are of one kind. Ionic bond, covalent bond, and coordinate covalent bond are of one kind. These are all coming under chemical bonds. Every time chemical bonds are involved with electrons, so they are very stronger when compared to intermolecular forces. What are the types of intermolecular forces? We have three types of intermolecular forces generally. Those are hydrogen bond, dipole-dipole forces, and van der Waals forces. Okay, out of this, which is stronger? while I was discussing, I told weak force. Hydrogen bond is weak force. Why did I say that one? Because hydrogen bond is weaker than chemical bond. Hydrogen bond is weaker than chemical bond. It is a type of intermolecular force. So all intermolecular forces are weaker than chemical bonds. Okay? After hydrogen bond. But coming to intermolecular forces, which is strong one? Hydrogen bond is the strongest one. In intermolecular forces, hydrogen bond is the strongest one. But when it is compared with chemical bonds, it is weaker. That is the thing. Clarity must be there. I hope you understood. But to decide the state of matter, state of the substance, intermolecular forces will be helpful. So write the point, all of you. Intermolecular forces will decide the state of the substance. State means whether it is solid, liquid or gas. Okay? Intermolecular forces will decide the state of the substance. Intermolecular forces will decide the state of the substance, or even melting and boiling points also. When the intermolecular forces are very strong, then the substance contains high melting and boiling points. Okay. Now coming to van der Waals forces, when we have the concept, at the time we will discuss now. Those are the weakest forces. Van der Waals forces are called weakest forces. So when we get the concept, at the time I will explain the van der Waals forces. Now we got two concepts, those are hydrogen bond and dipole-dipole forces. In water, which type of forces are present? Hydrogen bond. In H2S, dipole-dipole forces are present because of that state is changed. Water is present in liquid state, H2S is present in gas state. That is the reason. Now I hope you understood, everyone. Okay, it is very clear for you. Once again, I am stressing that hydrogen bonds are one kind of intermolecular forces. Okay, it will be strongest intermolecular force. Like that you can remember. Hydrogen bond is the strongest intermolecular force, which is going to decide. These intermolecular forces are going to decide the states of matter. Generally, all gases contain weakest van der Waals forces now. And dipole-dipole forces. Because these are weak forces. No? Okay, this is the thing about this hydrogen bond. Now, types of hydrogen bond we have to see. Before that, I hope you understood, everyone. Okay, now, before going to the types of hydrogen bond, which type of elements will form hydrogen bond and what are the conditions to form hydrogen bond? That one we will see. See all of you. Molecules which contain fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen elements. Molecules which contain fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen elements only will form hydrogen bond. Molecules which contain fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen elements only will form hydrogen bond. So these are the highest electronegative elements. Fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen. So the compounds which contain these three elements only, they have intermolecular forces hydrogen bonds. Example, HF, H2O, NH3. In all these things, we have fluorine highest electronegative element, oxygen, here nitrogen. Like this, they have strong intermolecular forces. Okay, ma? They have hydrogen bond. When hydrogen bond is present, maximum that molecules contain high melting and boiling points also. Because of strong intermolecular forces, they contain high melting and boiling points. Okay. Now, what is the condition to show hydrogen bond? To form the hydrogen bond, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen are required, and hydrogen which is bonded to fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen. This is the condition to form hydrogen bond. Once again I am reading here. Fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen must be present, and hydrogen which is bonded to fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen. Hydrogen which is bonded to fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen. One example I will tell. After that we will go to next one. See here. CH3, C double bond O, CH3. Name of this compound is acetone. Another molecule also I am taking, CH3, C double bond O, CH3. This is totally acetone liquid. In this acetone, in organic chemistry, we will go through all these names also, no problem. After this chemical bond, I am going to start organic chemistry only, basics in organic chemistry, nomenclature, everything you will get, no problem. Easy things only, okay? Now, in this acetone, we have oxygen. Fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen are among this one element is present, oxygen. But hydrogens are not bonded to these elements, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen. All hydrogens are bonded to carbon. Total 6 hydrogens are there, man. Those are bonded to carbon. But the hydrogens are not bonded to any one of the elements, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen. So this molecule cannot form hydrogen bond. This molecule cannot form hydrogen bond because hydrogen is not bonded to high electronegative elements like fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen. That is the main condition we have to understand. Let us consider water. High electronegative atom oxygen is there, as well as hydrogen is bonded to oxygen. See, hydrogen is bonded to, and H which is bonded to any one of the elements, fluorine, oxygen or nitrogen. Here H is bonded to oxygen, then it is getting that amount of delta positive enough to be attracted by delta negative charge. Then it will form hydrogen bond. That's why H2O will form hydrogen bond. Is it okay, ma? This is the condition, main condition. So while we are checking whether it is contained by hydrogen bond or not, this is the main condition we have to keep it in mind. That is, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen should be present in that molecule, as well as hydrogen which is bonded to these elements. Any one element, no problem. All the 3 elements, no need. Any one of the elements which is bonded with hydrogen, then there is a chance to, definitely they will be forming a hydrogen bond. Further examples we will see. Before that, types of hydrogen bond let us consider. Okay, ma? Types of hydrogen bond, 2 types. Intramolecular hydrogen bond and intermolecular hydrogen bond. Types of hydrogen bond, there are 2 types, ma. Intramolecular hydrogen bond and intermolecular hydrogen bond. Inter means between. Between the molecules, hydrogen bond is present. Intra means in the molecule itself, hydrogen bond is present. Till now, we have seen hydrogen bond present between water molecule and water molecule. That is intermolecular. That example is for intermolecular. Okay. Now, which type of example will be given to intramolecular? That is in organic chemistry we will get. That is, this is benzene ring 1. This benzene ring contains C double bond O, OH, and here OH. Name of this compound is salicylic acid. Name of this compound is salicylic acid. These names, these structures, everything you will understand in organic chemistry. This is coming under organic compound. This is called organic compound now. In organic chemistry, we will study these things. No need to be tensed with this name. Salicylic acids are how we have to remember. this topic is not completed for you. When this topic is completed, you are ready to explain all these compounds also, no problem. Okay, now this hydrogen is bonded to oxygen, delta positive, this is delta negative, here also delta positive and this is delta negative. Okay, now this oxygen and this hydrogen and this hydrogen and this oxygen will be getting hydrogen bonds, but those hydrogen bonds are present in the molecule. This is entirely one molecule only, ma'am. This is entirely one molecule only. Okay, in the molecule itself we have hydrogen bond, that is called intramolecular hydrogen bond. In the molecule itself, between OH and COOH, we have hydrogen bonds that is entirely belonging to same molecule. Those are entirely belonging to same molecule. That type of hydrogen bonds are called intramolecular hydrogen bonds. Now, which type of bonds are coming under intermolecular? HOH, HOH. Between O minus of this one and this one. This is one molecule and this is another molecule. Between the molecules, two molecules, okay, we have this intermolecular hydrogen bond. In water, HF. This is completely HF molecule, this is also completely another HF. Between the molecules we have hydrogen bond. That is called intermolecular. Inter means between. This is intra. In the molecule itself we have hydrogen bond. These are the types of hydrogen bond now. Two types of hydrogen bond are there. Those are intramolecular hydrogen bond and intermolecular hydrogen bond. Okay. Till now, what are the examples major we have studied? Water, NH3, okay, next HF. All these are coming under intermolecular hydrogen bond. This is the example for intramolecular. Further examples of intramolecular we will see in next organic chemistry also. No problem at all. Okay, but you have to remember that if hydrogen bond is present in the molecule itself, that is called intramolecular hydrogen bond. If hydrogen bond is present between the molecules, that is called intermolecular hydrogen bond. These are the types of hydrogen bond. Okay, by this we have completed this concept hydrogen bond, and we are remained with one more concept, that is called bond parameters. By that chemical bond chapter is going to be completed. Okay, even these hydrogen bond, day-to bond animated videos I have sent ma. After this class, once again if you watch them, you will be more clear about these concepts. Okay, once finally I am going to say again, that is hydrogen bond is a intermolecular force. Okay, not same like chemical bonds. That one you have to remember carefully. But this is the strong intermolecular force. Okay, ma? This is about today's concept. I hope you are clear about this concept, everyone. Okay, if you have any doubts, immediately you can ask me, no problem. I am ready to explain anything also. Okay, ma? Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you all.